Okay, that was awful. Yeah, that was bad. You want to watch 3 more and then make a video about it? Every year, Netflix releases a handful of Christmas movies which historically have been pretty bad and fun to make fun of. So this year, I'm going to watch every single new Christmas movie that Netflix puts out to see if they finally managed to make a good one. I am almost certain they have not, and this video is probably just me making fun of 4 bad Christmas movies. But Netflix has gotten away with tarnishing the reputation of Christmas movies and the filmography of Vanessa Hudgens for far too long. There needs to be consequences if these movies actually suck. Now, a normal person would probably just threaten to cancel their subscription, but I can't really do that because I don't pay for my subscription. I was given a gift card from my girlfriend's parents, which makes it their fault. So if all 4 of these Christmas movies are bad, I will in turn not buy any Christmas gifts for my girlfriend's parents, potentially souring our relationship for years to come. And that blood's on your hands, Netflix. So let's watch these damn movies. The first movie I watched was My Secret Santa. This was the movie I think I was most excited for because of the way it was described when I was reading about it. Before it was released, the description was something along the lines of, a woman dresses up as a man for work and falls in love with her coworker, which sounds very funny. It also made me very confused because I accidentally started watching a different movie, but I did catch my mistake and I started watching the right movie. This movie is just Camp Rock and Gilmore Girls. Like, the main character, Taylor, is a single mom raising her daughter. She is living paycheck to paycheck, and they have a very almost friend-like relationship. Her daughter even kind of sounds like Rory.
I didn't want to say anything in case I didn't get in.
Zoe, her daughter, gets accepted to a special snowboarding academy, but they can't afford to send her there because it's too expensive.
What's that number? I think that's the tuition fee.
Oh.
But then Taylor learns if she gets a job at the resort, she gets a discount on the snowboarding academy.
50% off tuition for employees of Sun Peak Ski Resort.
50% off?
So just Camp Rock. And this is really convenient because Taylor just got laid off from her job at the Santa cookie factory. You know, not for nothing, I know a lot of people are just trying to work a job to get by. Maybe you could get like a better job? Like at least one that sells cookies year-round, preferably. So Taylor goes to apply for a job at the resort, but they're not actually hiring anyone. The only job they're actively hiring for is Santa Claus, which for some reason pays $2,000 a week.
We need someone to start right away, and it pays $2,000 a week.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear that the man at the front desk told me that there weren't any job openings at the hotel.
They're not. Unless you are an old man with a beard.
I don't know how Santa's pulling in 6 figures, but it's definitely a step up from the cookie factory. The problem is, to play Santa, you need to be a fat old man, which she is not. So she turns to her brother and his husband to help make her a disguise.
Look, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Ridiculous.
When do we start?
There's no real indication that her brother has any sort of fashion or costume design experience. I think she just assumes he's watched enough RuPaul to probably figure this one out. And I don't know, it works. They do build her a disguise. And actually, it's a rather complicated disguise too. It's a fat suit and the Christmas suit and this prosthetic face. Actually, guys, I lied. They do completely address why these guys can make a good costume. They're just really big Halloween fans. So she goes and auditions for Santa and gets the job. And she makes up a fake name to go by, Hugh Man.
Your name is Hugh Man?
Hugh, man. You pause between the words.
Right.
Nailed it. Now this is Matthew, the owner's son, who's supposed to be this like spoiled rich kid who has been like living off daddy's money and getting in trouble this whole time.
Okay, Dad. I get it. I need to clean my act up. I promise it won't happen again.
You're right. It won't.
The problem is he's like clearly 40. I don't know, I feel like that plot kind of works if they're like 27. It doesn't really work when he's 41. So Matthew's dad wants him to take some responsibility in his life, so he makes him the general manager of the resort, which pisses off this woman, Natasha, who was probably gonna get that role.
Dad.
General manager. Him.
And I can't think of anyone better suited to train him than you.
Me.
Now back to the Santa auditions. Matthew actually recognizes Hugh.
Sorry, you look really familiar. Have we met somewhere?
Have you been to the North Pole?
This is because earlier in the movie, he sees Taylor and recognizes her from a band she used to play in. And he also asked her out, and she said no. Taylor had actually quit that band because she had gotten pregnant with Zoe. Cool, so we're doing the trope of parent who gave up on their dreams. Got it. Throughout the movie, Matthew just keeps having these weirdly deep conversations with Hugh. I don't even know if you can say it's a deep conversation because it's very one-sided. It's pretty much just him trauma dumping. He should probably talk to a therapist. At one point, basically right after Matthew hired Hugh, they both go to the locker room and get changed. And Matthew just drops trow.
Yeah.
You all set for the tree lighting?
Like, that's pretty weird, knowing that Hugh is a woman. But also, even without that, that would be pretty weird. Like, you just hired this guy, and then you're just gonna show him your piece? Yeah, I guess I'm just really sad. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you want to talk to like a therapist about holy shit.
Funny, I wish I could talk to him like this.
You know, sometimes it's easier with a stranger.
Except you don't feel like a stranger. I swear we've met somewhere.
Santa Claus.
Now, throughout the story, Taylor's landlord is just being a pest.
You're late with the rent again.
I'm sorry, Miss.
Wait, what is that? Do you hear that?
What?
Sounds like not my problem in the key of I don't care.
Like, at one point, she sees Taylor in her Hugh costume driving Taylor's van, which, by the way, Taylor drives like a white painter's van. And that's not because she's broke, it's because she's a pedophile. But then Taylor's landlord sees her in this van and just gets all nosy.
And who are you?
And then immediately tries to fuck who she thinks is Taylor's dad.
I'm Taylor's father.
No. Mrs. Claus?
Oh.
If you need anything during your stay, I'm in apartment 305.
Speaking of parents, there is pretty much no real mention of Taylor's parents, which is kind of weird for one of these movies, because it seems like literally every time I watch one of these, the main character has at least one dead or absent parent. Don't worry though, because they more than make up for this. Matthew's mom, she's dead.
My mom died when I was 15.
Zoe's dad, he left.
I got pregnant in college and her father wanted to be a rock star, so he left town and I never saw him again.
Even this random girl Ava, who's just Zoe's bully at snowboarding camp. Her father's gone and her mom neglects her.
I love not being able to see my dad, and my mother works so much I hardly ever get to see her either, so it's just great.
And by the way, that mom is Natasha. At this point in the movie, you can just kind of skip forward 40 minutes because nothing of value happens. It's just mostly generic build-up. Oh no, Taylor is bad at being Santa. Bad thing happens. Oh no, her cover is blown. Psych. Everyone in this movie's oblivious. And then suddenly, Taylor's really good at being Santa. Not just really good, the best. She's better than the real Santa. And the way they make her good at being Santa is just she therapy talks to children.
What happened?
He's really great with kids. He gets them to open up about their feelings and their fears, their hopes and dreams.
Perhaps instead of Santa's village, we should open a therapy center.
And somehow this makes business at the resort absolutely nuts. Also, this whole time, Zoe doesn't know that her mom is Santa, which is a load of shit. She would absolutely recognize that. But then she talks to Santa and basically wishes for her mom to get laid.
Why don't you tell Santa what you would like for Christmas?
You want to know what I want for Christmas?
I am all ears.
For my mom to get a boyfriend.
Like, how down bad are you that your teenage child is wishing for you to get your back blown out so that you'd get off hers? You know? Now, for some reason, at this point in the movie, Natasha becomes really suspicious of Hugh. I say for some reason, as if it's not glaringly obvious Hugh is not a real person. But it's kind of extra weird because Natasha helped hire Hugh, so I don't really know what's going on there. I'm sure they explained some sort of reason for this. It just wasn't a compelling enough or interesting enough reason for me to remember. So Natasha spends more time neglecting her child and looking into Hugh's background. And she finds that Hugh's social security number is actually Taylor's, which means
He is a fraud. They're probably working together on some evil scheme to ruin my career.
Nope, not that. I think I know why you might not have gotten that general manager role. Back to Hugh/Taylor. Taylor finally gives in to Matthew and goes on a date with him to go get, well, not coffee, hot cocoa.
Do you know where to get a good hot chocolate?
I've never seen an adult get hot chocolate. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know how it's in every one of these movies. I've never once seen an adult grab a box of Swiss Miss at the grocery store. Never mind making it the whole date. So on their date, Matthew invites Taylor to the resort's Christmas party, and she says yes, as if she doesn't realize obviously she's gonna have to work that.
Oh, you know what? It's the perfect opportunity to introduce you to Hugh.
At the same party we're gonna go to.
Yeah, same one. You'll be there, he'll be there. Great chance to say hi.
I think I kind of get how you were only working at the cookie factory. You didn't have the foresight to kind of see that one coming. Now, instead of bailing on these plans as any normal person would, they do the typical one person, two dates type thing.
I'm gonna go freshen up.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everyone!
Until just everything spirals out of control. Natasha very publicly accuses Hugh of fraud.
This man is an imposter. He's using a fake name and your little girlfriend's social security number.
What? What? Hugh, is this true?
Which is almost immediately interrupted by somebody loudly pronouncing that Zoe basically died.
Who are you really? What is your name?
Is Taylor Jacobson in here? There's been an accident on the ski slope. Her daughter's been hurt.
Like they have her on this stretcher. And then by the way, later in the movie, she's perfectly fine. So I don't know what this was all about. So Taylor immediately drops the whole Hugh act and rushes out to see Zoe. But then like she's more concerned with apologizing to Matthew as she's getting in that ambulance than she is about her motionless daughter. I don't know. And then pretty much just cue the generic happy ending. Matthew and Taylor are in love and spend Christmas together, even though they've known each other for like 3 weeks. Taylor doesn't get fired. Instead, she gets a full-time job as the director of family events at the resort. Yeah, probably because she's sleeping with the general manager. Look at her resume. She got fired from the cookie shack. And of course, Taylor's landlord tries to fuck Matthew's dad.
You're pretty easy on the eyes. Oh, what's that?
And finally, the piece de resistance, the generic kiss ending. Ultimately, I would say this movie is not good. It didn't really have any like glaring mistakes or plot holes, but it also didn't try to do anything. Which I would argue not trying to do anything is worse than trying to do something and failing miserably. I'm kind of bummed about this one too, because I really thought it was a funny concept when I read it on paper. They just made it far too generic. Like in my head when I heard this, I pictured Melissa McCarthy in like a department store, ditch the whole mom who gave up on her dreams thing. I don't know, it wasn't like this aggressively bad movie, it just wasn't good. For the second movie, I decided to go back and finish the one I accidentally started, Jingle Bell Heist. What I will say about this movie is that I don't think it's copying another movie, which means that almost certainly it is, and somebody is going to tell me about that in the comments. This is our main character, Sophie. Actually, it's Sophia, and I just misspoke this entire video. So my bad. Her mom is not dead, all right? Get that out of your head. She is dying. Also, her dad left. So she works 2 different jobs to help pay for her mom's treatment costs. One is at a pub, and the other is at a high-end department store where she steals from the company. And this is our other main character, Nick. He is a criminal who hacked into the security cameras and catches her stealing. And honestly, I don't know how she thought she was going to get away with this. I mean, the camera is right behind her. He uses that footage of her stealing the money to blackmail her to help him pull off a much bigger heist. He wants to rob the store for all the valuable jewelry in the vault. Initially, she says no, because that's like crazy. But then she gets scammed by the UK's kind of free healthcare system. So she goes back and says yes. I'm sure people from the UK, UKers or colonizers, I'm sure you are eager to complain about your healthcare system. Anyway, Nick and Sophie do the heist. But when she reaches the vault, it's empty.
What the fuck?
Oh no, a twist! Sophie thinks that Nick did it and this was just an elaborate plan to set her up. So she comes and yells at him in front of his ex-wife and daughter. And obviously, that causes no issues.
Pin all of this on me?
Dude. No. Hey, I didn't do this.
Nick?
Daddy?
Come on, sweetheart. Daddy's busy.
Brianna, wait.
But it turns out Nick didn't actually do it. So, like, she kind of just blew up his life for no reason. But also, like, he was trying to do it, so. In the aftermath of the heist, Sophie learns about her boss's private safe in his office, where he keeps £500,000. So, bada bing bada boom, they plan to rob that instead.
You know, I heard that Sterling has about £500,000 of cash up in his office.
And again, we hit that part of the movie where you can kind of just fast forward 40 minutes. Everything they're doing here is just kind of building up to the heist. In one of the scenes, it kind of looks like they're kissing, which is... Whoa! But don't worry, they're not. Really, the only important thing we learn is that Nick actually isn't a criminal. He was scammed and set up by her boss, Sterling.
I never broke into Sterling's.
What?
Sterling hired me to upgrade the main floor's security. And I did the job. Instead of getting paid, I had police banging down my door telling me that there had been a robbery with my access codes, my programming.
And also, in case it's unclear, Sterling knew what he was doing. He falsely accused Nick so that he wouldn't have to pay him for setting up the security cameras.
He set me up.
But you pled guilty.
It's a good deal. Reduced jail time out in 2 years. I mean, yeah, cost me my marriage, but I'd get to see my daughter. Everyone thought that I did it, so at a certain point, I just stopped fighting it.
Anyway, the main problem they need to overcome at this point is they need to steal a key fob from Sterling's private home. Ultimately, the way they decide to do this is by seducing Sterling's wife. So they sneak into Sterling's party and then try to seduce his wife, and she's totally into it. Apparently, Nick didn't think it would get this far. I don't really know what the grand plan was when he got back to her house. He's kind of just like, hey, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
And then when she brings him back to her house, he's like, oh no, she's trying to fuck me. And once it becomes painfully obvious that Nick's not gonna sleep with her, Sterling's wife, Cynthia, reveals that she knows exactly who he is. She was just like, she just wanted to smash, you know? But here's the thing. Cynthia hates her husband, and she also knows how much of a piece of shit he is. So instead of turning in Nick and Sophie for trying to steal from them, she wants them to help her set up Sterling. Oh my god, a double twist!
I can give you this.
Why would you do that?
Because you're going to split the money with me.
I don't understand. You want to rob your husband?
I think it's time he gets what he deserves and I get what's mine. Before there's nothing more to take.
So on Christmas Eve, they manage to break into Sterling's office. They open the safe using the key fob Cynthia gave them, and it reveals a second safe.
There's no lock. How do we get it open?
Now this safe can only be opened with DNA. Ew, no, like a finger prick. So they have no way to open the safe, until Sophie gives her DNA and it opens.
What are you doing?
Remain still.
No, Sophia, stop.
DNA sample received. Processing.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you. My mom worked here. Then he got her pregnant and fired her.
Oh my god, a triple twist! Sophie's dad is Sterling, which embarrassingly I did not see coming. Here's where this movie takes a pretty drastic turn for me. These two idiots go to make an escape and then completely mess it up.
Hey, stop there! Don't move!
It's now or never, Nick.
And the whole time, they have zero sense of urgency. Like, for a movie that had somehow sucked me in a little bit, it completely took me out of the moment. It killed all of the momentum they had built until that point. Like, at one point, while being chased by security who's maybe 30 feet away, they decide to stop and have a conversation about what their escape plan should be. Still, somehow they manage to escape, and then Sterling arrives with the police and they go to check his safe. And when they open the safe, it reveals all of the stolen items from the vault. Oh my god, how many twists are there? I'm getting kind of dizzy. See, Sterling stole these items from himself and was gonna do insurance fraud. Cynthia knew where he kept those items, so they stole it and put it in his safe and then acted like they were robbing the safe. You get it. So this movie ends with Sterling being arrested, Nick successfully clearing his name, and of course, a Christmas kiss. I gotta say, I really hate the ending. Honestly, this movie would be so much better without the first and last 20 minutes. The beginning is just slow and pretty boring, and the ending feels like they had a good idea and then realized it didn't fit the formula, so they just put a formula ending on. Like, for the first time ever, I was actually enjoying one of these movies. That never happens, and I had managed to overcome how boring the beginning was and how kind of uneventful and lackluster that middle section was. I think I just got hopeful because I thought they were gonna finally break the formula. And then when they went to escape, it's like everything changed. I snapped back to reality. Whoa, there went gravity. Mom spaghetti. And also, like, they didn't need to end up together. I think that's stupid that they forced that to happen. Like, I know Nick's wife didn't believe him and then left him, but it felt kind of fresh and, dare I say, unique. If this movie were to have Nick go rekindle things with his ex-wife and get a fresh start after clearing his name. And Sophie could have been, I don't know, more than just a vessel for romance. She could have just been this woman who no longer had to worry about taking care of her mom and actually got to live her life again. And I would have liked it way more if they were just friends, like this brought them together. But no, make them kiss. Also, for what it's worth, they labeled this movie as a dark comedy. In what way is this even a comedy? I don't think they made a joke the entire movie. They just let this movie get so far and then ruined it. So that kind of, that pissed me off. Netflix's third blockbuster release is a movie called Champagne Problems. This movie is about an American woman who goes to Paris. And as an American who formerly lived in Paris, I am legally required to be extremely snooty about this one. First off, let's just do a quick parent check. All right, Henry.
My mother used to take me here every Christmas.
Is she?
Yeah. She died when I was 6.
All right, Sydney.
My mom died when I was 15.
What about your father?
He took off right after Skylar was born. I don't remember much about him.
Wow, double whammy. This is Sydney, our main character. She is a girl boss who works for the worst people on earth, venture capitalists. And she was sent to Paris to close a deal to buy a struggling champagne vineyard.
Very good, Sydney. Clearly thought this acquisition through. And that's why I'm sending you to Paris to make your presentation directly to Hugo Cassel.
She is that typical type of workaholic character these movies create. So she makes a promise to her sister that she'll spend one night legitimately enjoying Paris and not working.
Promise me that you will take one night off from work while you're there. One night. Tinky, promise.
So she ends up going to a bookstore and meeting Henry, and then she wakes up in his bed the next morning. Well, I guess they did exchange the thing about dead moms between the bookstore and the sex. The next morning, Sydney heads off to her meeting where we meet the other investors who are trying to buy the vineyard. There's Otto, an offensively German man with very little social skills, but they make up for that with him being more German.
Chateau Cassel needs to be run more efficiently, and nobody is as efficient as the Germans.
There's Roberto, who has never worked a day in his life, is very gay, and he drinks so much champagne, he wants to buy the vineyard to make sure they can't change the recipe.
Let me be perfectly honest with you. I've never worked a day in my life. But what I do know is that every time I throw a party, I break out the Chateau Cassel Grand Cru. And I throw a lot of parties.
And Bridget, who I kind of forgot is in this movie.
Champagne should stay in France.
Now this is crazy, you won't believe this. Turns out Henry's father is the one who owns the vineyard, and we find that out when he shows up to the meeting.
Excusez-moi.
And they're all like, oh, what? I know you. No, I know you. Also, very funny little detail here. Henry hates venture capitalists.
The Roth Group. I know all about Marvin Roth.
You do?
He raids small businesses and breaks them into little pieces to sell off to the highest bidder.
Well done, Henry. And he specifically hates Sydney's company, which is super funny that they include this in a movie as they're actively trying to buy Warner Brothers. Henry tells off Sydney because he knows about her company and doesn't like what they do. And Sydney seems to not be aware what they do.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Chateau Laberge. Ryan Garner from the Roth Group acquired its fame in Bordeaux and then forced Pierre Laberge out of his own company.
I don't know anything about that.
Like, I don't know how you work at a venture capitalist firm and you just don't know what venture capitalists do. Now, Henry's father, Hugo Cassell, invites all of the investors to come work at the vineyard for a few days. He figures this is probably the best way to figure out who is the best fit to take over the vineyard. From here, the real focus of the movie is just on Henry and his father's strained relationship. When Hugo lost his wife, he just buried himself in his work, and Henry felt neglected. Whoa, what an original plot concept. I haven't seen that since like the first movie in this video. And throughout the movie, Sydney helps each one of them express themselves and reconnect with their emotions and yada yada. It's not that interesting. The interesting part of this movie is Otto and Roberto. They are, and I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, very funny.
How are you still standing?
Right? Part of me says I shouldn't drink so much. Then the other part of me says, don't listen to him, he's drunk. Come on, Otto.
Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you for peer pressuring me.
Like, every time I found myself genuinely enjoying this movie, they were on screen. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just had such little expectations. I think they were just funny, little silly, goofy characters. I don't know. I don't know why it worked, but it did.
This is allowed? I'm allowed to do this? Yes, you are. Wow.
Could you make a whole movie about just them? Probably not. But maybe the story in between moments of them could be a little better. Like, as long as you have 20 working brain cells, you can figure out how this movie's going to go. Eventually, it becomes clear that Hugo is going to choose Sydney's company because he likes Sydney, and she's helped him rekindle that relationship with his son. And she assures them that they'll put something in the contract to make sure they can't just tear up the company for parts.
TRG can guarantee that you'll stay on as president even after the sale.
But then Sydney's coworker shows up and she's like, yeah, we're gonna immediately sell the company and void that contract.
Cassell's lawyers have reached out to us to start preliminary talks. And Marvin's in negotiations with Takami Imports.
What are you talking about?
At least not until after the deal, when we flip Chateau Cassell to the Japanese.
What about Hugo? I promised him he would stay on after the sale.
Once Takami takes over, any previous contract will be voided. This is everything you ever wanted.
What? No one saw that coming. Sydney is like completely blindsided by this news, which is absolutely hilarious. Like the whole movie, she's been talking about how this is finally gonna get her a promotion. But how are you gonna be promoted if you don't know what your company does? And also, you didn't even look into the one other champagne vineyard that they've purchased. That didn't seem relevant for you to look into. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but so Sydney tanks the deal and then leaves out of like shame.
I came here to close a deal. And to make a lot of money for TRG. I did everything I came to do.
And now I want to undo it.
And Henry said he wanted to stop seeing her because he thought he was being manipulated by her. But then when he learns that she was being tricked the whole time, they do one of those cliche, you have to rush to the airport and get there before the girl leaves. And then they decide to sell the vineyard to Roberto.
Shouldn't we wait for Sydney?
Sydney left last night.
Did you make a deal with Sydney?
Congratulations, Sydney! Sorry, I suffer from premature congratulations.
That's good, Roberto. You make me laugh. And that's why I'm selling Chateau Cassell to you.
I'm sorry, what now?
And then we skip to 1 year in the future. Sydney and Henry are in a relationship. Henry opened the bookstore he was dreaming about opening, which they mentioned that earlier in the movie. I didn't because it was kind of boring. And then they make out in front of like all their friends and family. Honestly, I don't know if I liked this movie. Actually, you know what? I'm wrong and should shut up. Is the main story rather predictable? Yeah, absolutely. But is this a bad movie? No, it's not. Honestly, this is kind of a good movie. In these videos, I can get kind of caught up nitpicking movies because I want funny moments. And that's fine when a movie is genuinely terrible. But this movie is not genuinely terrible. It's got, honestly, quite a lot of funny moments. Don't get me wrong, I would much rather Netflix have made a better main story. That way I'm not bored between scenes of these two goofballs. But honestly, the story's fine. The jokes are good, and yeah, the ending is sappy. Who cares? I think looking back at this movie as I've been editing has really changed my perspective on it. And so did the last movie. The fourth and final movie I watched was called A Merry Little Xmas. And unequivocally, this is the worst one. It's not even close. This is the worst movie I've ever seen made by Netflix. The movie is about Kate and Everett, who are two older parents who are getting amicably divorced.
Well, legally it kind of does.
We're not even calling it divorce. We're consciously uncoupling.
Their kids are now in high school and college. They've kind of grown apart, and Kate really resents moving to Everett's hometown. She says it makes her feel trapped and like she gave up on her own dreams, which is awesome. You know, I love that we're doing the woman gave up on her dreams trope again. But look, I'm not even really gonna break down the plot of this one because this movie is so bad. Like, it actually upsets me how bad this movie is. They are constantly making jokes and they are constantly not landing.
Divorce doesn't have to be terrible.
Yeah, it does. She's using fun against you. I'm fun.
Yo, what's up, fam?
It's like the intended audience for this movie was like 50-year-old women, but all the jokes were written by like 13-year-olds.
Hello! It's lovely to meet you all. I just wish I brought something. Oh, wait, I did. I brought a wand! Accio Christmas magic!
You actually carry a wand?
Yes, I do.
He does.
I used it to cast a spell over this beautiful lady. Wingardium Leviosa!
So instead of feeling like you're watching a comedy movie, you're just watching somebody bomb. Also, the acting is horrible. For a production of this caliber, this might be the worst acting I've ever seen. Everett, the dad, is one of the most forgettable main characters in recent memory.
Hey, what is wrong with you?
You could swap him out with legitimately any white guy over the age of 40, and you would not notice a difference. Like, the instructions given to Oliver Hudson, who's the actor who plays Everett, must have been something along the lines of, hey, don't be memorable. Sometimes you watch a movie and you can kind of forget that the actors are people, like playing a character. This is not one of those movies. I wish I could forget about Kate, but I can't. She is somehow worse.
He would never do this on his own. He's dating Satan Claus. Well, Everett, I feel upset.
Okay, when are we gonna do origami?
I'll do it later.
Okay, have fun.
I think the only emotion Alicia Silverstone knows how to do in this movie is a quirky, surprised look. Every other emotion she tries to do, it's like somebody just described it to her for the very first time 10 seconds before they started filming, and she didn't hear them. Oh, I'm mad! But what about Christmas? What we're doing is so naughty. It is actually insufferable. It's so bad, it actually makes it hard to focus on the already insufferable plot. Which, by the way, the plot is simply just, mom and dad get divorced, but they're both cool with it. Dad gets a young new girlfriend. Mom, who said she's okay with everything, isn't actually okay with it. So mom decided to get a retaliatory himbo boyfriend. And then they keep trying to make the other one jealous.
No, you definitely don't need to.
I think it's a great idea. Go ahead and just follow my lead there. Yeah, it's fantastic. Excuse me, miss. Too hard, huh?
But then time passes and they realize they were wrong. They do love each other. So mom and dad break up with their new partners and get back together. And would you believe it? Those new partners start dating. Literally the only thing notable about this movie is that they didn't kill any of the parents. It's the first time in a Christmas movie Netflix hasn't tried to trauma bond the main characters over their mommy and daddy issues. Like, I really cannot stress how bad that movie was. So ultimately, what are my final rankings of these movies? My Secret Santa, I would give a 4 out of 10. It took what on paper was a very good and strong concept and sucked all the life out of it. Jingle Bell Heist, I would give a 5.5 out of 10. Aside from the miserable start and ending, the movie was alright. I just wish they let this movie be good. Champagne Problems, I would give a 6.5 out of 10. The main plot is pretty predictable and boring, but this movie is saved by its side characters who are genuinely entertaining. And last, but also least, A Merry Little Xmas, I would give 1 out of 10. This is single-handedly the worst movie I've ever seen produced by Netflix. And watching it and now talking about it has made me genuinely upset. So I guess technically Netflix did kind of make one good movie. So I suppose I will have to buy gifts for my girlfriend's parents this year. Speaking of gifts, the real gift of them all are my patrons, whose names are on screen now. If you want to see your name on screen or on the wall behind me, watch bonus content and videos ad-free, then consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Jamie Regan. Merry Christmas, YouTube. Yeah, I'm not buying her parents shit.